morning and happy Sabbath, primary kids. Welcome to Kids Time Online for, here we go, May 30th. So happy Sabbath, welcome, and let's get ready for our lesson today. We're continuing our story of Noah. This actually might be the last week of Noah, so hope you enjoy. Let's think of something that we're thankful for today. I am thankful that, just have to shut this off. I am thankful that I am back to work. So it's a little trickier getting this recording in, but I will find a way. And yes, so I'm very thankful that I can be back to work, back to earning some money. Money is important for paying the bills, so that's what I'm thankful for. You tell each other what you're thankful for, and then we will have a prayer. Dear Father in heaven, thank you so much for today. Thank you that things are starting to get back to normal in our world. Please be with businesses and places that are opening up. Help them to continue to be safe. Be with all the primary kids in their homes, with their families. Keep them safe as well. Dear Jesus, we love you and thank you so much for being our friend. In your name I pray. Amen. All right. So, I forgot to mention, again, you can send your prayer requests to me at 250-788-5339. Be happy to pray for that. All right. You saw some other numbers on there and words that's going to be your homework for later, so stay tuned. All right. So our mission story for our offering. And I think last week I forgot to remind you to give offering. And today I forgot to bring my offering. So, boy, I'm not doing very well in the remembering department. But anyways, if you have your jars at home, you can put your offering in there now. And, boy, we're getting closer to the day where we can bring all our offering back to church. And we'll have a big envelope to turn into the treasure, won't we? All right. Our mission story, is from Serbia today. And it's called Poisoned Tom. Ooh. And Tom is not a person, so don't worry. Tom is a cat. And this cat is Emma Makara's cat. When she was little, when she was only 3, she begged her folks for a horse. They said, oh my goodness, we are living in an apartment, we cannot have a horse. What about a dog? No dogs. She wanted a big dog. Dogs do not work in apartments. They need a house with a yard. And then they did move to a house, but it was a very small house. And so Emma's like, well, can't have a dog yet. What about a cat? So Mom and Dad found Emma a cat. And Emma named her cat Tom. So she had to wait till she was 7, till the time that they moved into a house that they could have a pet. So from 3 to age 7, she was really wanting a pet. And now she had her pet, and it was Tom, the cat. And she loved this cat. But soon after they moved into their new home, they also got some other creatures that they did not like for pets. And those were brown cockroaches in the bathroom. So Father had to go to battle getting rid of these cockroaches. And so he bought some poison, shaped it into small orange balls, and hid 5 of these in the bathroom. And he strictly forbade Tom from entering the bathroom, right? We don't want our pets to eat the poison. This room's off limits. And suddenly then that bathroom was very exciting to Tom, wasn't it? Tom was always trying to get into that bathroom whenever the door was cracked. Well, one day they had to go on a trip, and Mom had to grab some towels quickly before they left from the bathroom. And she didn't quite latch the door, so they were loading the vehicle, and then Dad remembered he had one more thing, raced back in, saw that the bathroom door was open, and sure enough, as he looked, Tom had a poison ball in his mouth. And Dad couldn't get it out fast enough. Tom swallowed it. And they were very concerned. And they prayed, and little Emma prayed to God to please keep Tom safe. And there was no place for them to go. There was no vet where they lived, nothing. They couldn't do anything about it. But Mom said, and Grandma said, animals will vomit. They'll throw up if something isn't quite right in their tummy. So they waited and waited, and sure enough, Tom threw up that poison and was okay after a little while. So Emma was very thankful that God made cats to have that ability to get rid of something that might harm them. So she was pretty excited about that. So that's a cool story from Serbia this morning. All right, so into our lesson now. I'm recording this on Thursday, so I don't know if the sun will be shining for you on Sabbath or whenever you listen to this, watch this program. But look outside, if the sun is shining and you have a garden hose that you can access, go outside, turn the water on a bit, take that garden hose and put your thumb kind of mostly over the end of the garden hose. I'm sure you've done this if you've had any water fights with your family. So put your thumb partway over the end of the hose with the water running, so you get a nice fan of water out of that hose. And hold it up different ways. See if you can get the sun to hit that misty water fan and see what happens. All right, so go do that and then come back. And I'll ask you some questions, all right? So I hope it's a sunny day and you can go test this little theory out, all right? Okay, so if you're back and watching again, and we're able to do that, what did you see in the mist? If you said you saw a rainbow, you are right. I hope you did see a rainbow. That is pretty cool. Do you know when God first gave us rain? Well, we know from our stories that at the flood, that's when the rain first came down instead of just coming up as dew during the night. So with the rain, after the flood, then there was the rainbow, right? Today we'll learn more about how God protected Noah and his family and how they were thankful for God's love and protection. And we will learn about a rainbow promise God made to Noah and to us. Our memory verse is, I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Genesis 9:15. That is a very long memory verse today. So you guys have a big job this week learning that memory verse. Okay, so our story is Noah and his family had been in the ark, so we still have our ark here, for more than a year. We learned about that last time, didn't we? Last week. Can you remember what you were doing 1 year ago today? Oh, I can't. I certainly can't. Maybe you can. But 1 year ago today, that's a long time ago to remember. All Noah and his family seemed to remember doing was feeding animals, cleaning up after animals, and waiting while the wind blew to dry up the floodwater. They were so anxious to get outside into the sunshine and fresh air, as you can imagine. Finally, God had said that it was time. It was time to see what their world looked like now. Would it be the same? What had the water done to the plants and trees and to their homes and crops? Well, when they looked out, things did look different. The mountains were jagged and rough. The beautiful gold and silver and precious wood and stones that had decorated the earth were gone. There were only a few young trees growing, not the forests that had offered shelter to birds and animals in the past. The earth looked confused and torn up. Noah's family didn't recognize places, but no matter what, it was so wonderful to be outside. They probably took in long, deep breaths of fresh air. All right, let's take in some nice, deep, fresh breaths. Breathe in through your nose, and then out through pursed lips. Can you do that? Breathe in through your nose and out. Oh, it just felt so good to be outside in the clean air, not in a stuffy ark with stinky animals. Oh, so they were very happy to be outside. It was time to let the animals out. And so the door was opened. Oh, let's see. Open that door and those animals came out. So remember, the 2x2 and all of the animals survived that whole year in the ark. Okay, you might have missed before that shut off, the big old elephants. They came out of the ark too. So all of the animals are out of the ark. Noah and his family probably unlocked cages and led the larger animals out of the ark. They probably carried the smaller ones and set them on the green grass. There was such a sound of happiness. The elephants trumpeted, the lions roared, the dogs barked. All the animals were running and jumping and howling for joy to be outside again. The sight must have made Noah's family smile and laugh. That would be quite the sight, wouldn't it? Then Noah called his family together and said that they should build an altar to thank God for saving them. Noah and his sons gathered large rocks. Now, I don't know about you, but my family knows that I love bringing rocks home from places that we go. So I have lots of rocks just in my house. So I brought my rocks today, and I'm going to build an altar here with my rocks. This is just one of the many baskets that I have collected over the years. And some rocks are so cool, like who could resist this rock? This very square rock, right? That's a good altar rock. But there's rocks that just are too cool to leave where they are, right? Look at that one. That's pretty cool too. And this rock, that's really, I know, I've got kind of a thing with rocks. So I'm building my altar here with my rocks. And this rock is kind of cool just because I found it, and it has two pieces. Right in half, put that one on top. Okay, so Noah and his family, I could make that a bigger altar, but I won't. If you at home can have rocks inside like me, or you want to go outside and find some rocks and build an altar like Noah's family did, you can do that. They carefully placed them to form an altar, and there they worshiped God. The only 8 people on the earth knelt down and thanked God for protecting them, for saving them, for loving them. God was happy with their worship and love for him, and he blessed Noah and his family. He told them to be happy in their new home and have children so the earth would have many people in it again. God also promised this family and all of the living creatures that he would never again destroy all of the earth with water. Noah and his family looked up from their prayer and saw a beautiful sight, something they had never seen before. What was it? It was a rainbow. They must have wondered at that. If you've never seen a rainbow, that would be quite something. That colorful arch in the sky was the first rainbow. The rainbow had been given to them as a covenant, which is a promise that God would do as he said. He would never again send a flood to cover all the earth. When you see a rainbow in the sky, remember God's promise and know that you are loved and cared for by him. So, a few questions about our lesson. How long was Noah and his family in the ark? Do you remember? If you said over a year, just over a year, you are right. How do you think they felt when God sent an angel to open the door so they could come out? Yes, they'd be pretty happy, pretty excited to get out of the ark after a whole year. That would be so fun. And what was the first thing they did? Yes, they built an altar to thank God for his love and care and protection over them. What was the rainbow promise? Has God kept his promise? Yeah. And how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel like you can trust God? Yes. Our message today is God's people rejoice because he cares for them. So we are thankful and we can rejoice in lots of ways because we are thanking God for taking care of us. All right, so our memory verse today, remember it's a long one, but it's kind of a cool activity that we can do. And it has something to do with the rainbow. So I want you to look at these colors here. I think you can see most of them, hopefully. Things aren't in the way. Maybe the altar is in the way. I'll move the altar. Okay. So, we are going to learn the memory verse in order of the rainbow colors. Now, maybe you don't know what the rainbow colors are, but today you will learn. All right, so what is the first color in our rainbow? And, well, it depends which way you go from, but I wrote these in a certain way. So we'll go the direction that I wrote them in, I guess. And I'll give you a clue. If you look under supplies, you might find an order there. So, first line in our memory verse in the rainbow, if you said red, that is correct. We are going to go with the red. And we're going to start way up here because I think our rainbow memory verse will be quite long. So, I will remember my, now which color? You guys are too smart. Orange is next. I will remember my covenant between, now which color? Yes, we're going with the yellow. You are right. Oh, I'll just leave that. I want to tear it. So yellow. Oh, it's a little crooked. Oh well. I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living. Now what color comes next? Yes. Green. I think green is somebody's favorite color that might be watching. There we go. There's green. So I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Now it gets a little tricky with these colors, but blue is next. And this is the closest to blue that I had. So at home you probably have a better blue than what I had. Never again will the, and now we have violet, which is a, basically, really, I think, looks like a deep purple. Will the waters become a flood? So I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood. And our last one is purple. To destroy all life. Genesis 9:15. And actually these might be mixed up. You can, the violets and the purples you can put how you want. So here we are. I will remember my covenant between me and you and all living creatures of every kind. Never again will the waters become a flood to destroy all life. Genesis 9:15. That is our memory verse. And now we'll just make something that reminds us of a rainbow at home. You can use a straw or a stick that you found. At home I found a wooden doll, so that's what I'm going to use. And on that we are going to put our rainbow colors. So at home, if you have all these colors, that's fantastic. You can put your colors right on your, make little strips, cut little strips and put them on your stick or your straw. If you don't have colored paper, then you can just take white paper and your crayons and you can color little strips of paper and then cut them out and put them on your stick. So I'm just going down same order that we did on the board there because that looks really pretty. It's a pretty rainbow. And I'm just putting my rainbow colors on my stick. And you can do that at home too. If you've got the supplies. It's kind of fun, and you don't have to make big strips, just little strips is good. Okay, and one more here, and I've got my rainbow. Boy, the purple and the blue really look a lot alike on my rainbow. Oh well. There is my super cool rainbow stick, which reminds me of my lesson today and reminds me of God's promise to take care of us. Now, for your homework. Okay, sorry about that. For your homework, there are some Bible verses that I wrote down here. Ezekiel 1:26-28, Revelation 4:2 and 3, 10 verse 1, and chapter 21 verse 19 and 20. You look those up with your parents and you will see that it talks about rainbows in the Bible, about heaven. There are cool rainbows in heaven. Some are actually rainbows that go over the throne and over people in heaven. And some are like the spraying the water, the mist, the rainbow in the mist. There are precious jewels and precious stones that are throughout the throne room that create, the light hitting them creates rainbows. So you know what? Jesus is in that throne room, and he is saying, reminding God of the promise to care for the people here on earth, for you and for me. When we sin, Jesus is saying to God, remember the rainbow. Remember the promise that we are showing mercy on those who ask for forgiveness. And that is such a cool reminder. When I look at the rainbow, I automatically see Jesus and God saying, we love Mrs. Schenkel so much that we are showing mercy to her, because even though she is a sinner, she will be accepted in heaven because she loves Jesus. And that is exactly what they're saying about you guys too. So it is the rainbow is such a special, special promise to us that God cares for us and that God has shown mercy to us to save us. We are so lucky to be children of God. So let's pray, and you guys have a very good week. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for the promise of the rainbow. Help us to remember every time we see that rainbow in the sky how very much you love us and how very much that you want us in heaven with you someday. That is your promise to us. Thank you so much. We love you. Amen. All right. Have a great day.